Welcome to the new version of Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast, the podcast for real estate agents everywhere. I'm Lisa B, and together with Bjorn Kunzel, we're going to talk about everything real estate. We talk about what's working, what's not working, what's new, what's old, technology, and anything else to do with real estate. We'll answer your questions from the Facebook group Let's Talk About Real Estate. So if you have a question, we can help. Join the Facebook group today. And again, welcome to the show. Hey Bjorn, we are now on our technology part 2 series of our podcast.
Welcome, part 2, how to get listings. Is that right, Lisa?
It is, yes, how to get listings using technology. But so what it is, the total series is how real estate agents are using technology in everyday life for everything. So we're doing a chronological order of how we're using it. Last week we did everything about like from the technology toolbox to lead generation. And so now we're moving on from there. So we're going into how they're listing property using technology, everything, chronological order. Okay. And again, we don't know everything, just what we're using and what we're seeing other people using. There's so much out there and we're never going to be able to cover everything, but we're just sort of using what we know. Okay. So to start with, using technology for preparation and for knowledge. So how important is it that agents have to know what they're doing? They're going to a listing presentation. They have to be the expert. So we have Corelogic, we have Pricefinder,
yes,
okay, which are imperative. We have Google Earth. We have websites for sale and sold databases. So if agents are not using those things, you have to.
Well, you legally have to give comparable sales to a vendor with a sales agency agreement. So that's where you have to use Corelogic or Pricefinder. So regardless of how you go about your business, you need to know what's selling,
yes,
and what's being sold in your area.
Absolutely. All right, sales reports that you can make look amazing with for sales and sold. So there's lots of different technology that you can use for that. Did you want to talk about some of those reports that you use?
Yes, certainly. So there's even some companies nowadays where you can put through digital proposals, where you can actually put in all the information of the client, excuse me, the client's property. You can bring in the Corelogic or the Pricefinder report as part of that as well, and speak about how you can benefit and give a little bit of a pitch to the client as far as how you're going to benefit them. And you can send it through digitally nowadays. It can either be sent as a link to an SMS or it can be sent via email to the client. You've also got your manual copies, which you can drop off as well. So there's several ways of doing things nowadays, but I find people like it digitally. They'll probably more chance of looking at something.
The digital pre-listing kit, kit.
Pre-listing kit. Yep. And short, sharp and simple.
Yes.
Lots of video content. That's my key. We do lots of video content.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so another way technology pre-appraisals is SMS to confirm appointments. So that's just sort of like a basic thing. At the appraisals, the way that agents are using technology is listing presentation on iPads or tablets. Show the sellers the buyers in your CRM to say, like, this is how many buyers I have in this price range that may possibly buy your property.
Very powerful, that one, Lisa. Very powerful. Actually showing them, saying, look, everybody's coming here and they're saying to you that they've got buyers for your property. Can I show you physically the buyers I've got for your property? And let's say they've got a 4-bedroom home with 2 bathrooms and 2 living areas in Modbury, for example, which is an area I work in. I'll go Modbury, 4-bed, 2-bath, 2 living area, buyer match, and then it'll give me a list of buyers. And I go, look, there's the names, numbers, and email addresses of all those buyers that I can get in contact straight away regarding your property.
Exactly. And then it is an off-market sale. Yeah.
And it's proof. It's real proof. It's not just saying something. You got to understand, a lot of the consumers, prostitutes were rated more trusted than a real estate agent. I mean, that says it all. That's just ridiculous, but that says it all, right? From the consumer's point of view. I think just above used car salesperson and lawyer, I think is where it's at. So if you think that's the impression that is, being implanted into the consumer, they don't believe what's coming out of your mouth. You need to have demonstrations where you can show them and you can back up with evidence what you're saying to them. And technology enables us to do that. Even on the smartphone with the apps, I've got an app which gives me access to my database with Agent Box, where I can actually show them on a tablet or on a laptop or even on my mobile phone.
Yep, absolutely.
Very powerful.
Absolutely. Okay. In appraisals, showing video testimonials of past clients on your thing, which is amazing.
Yeah, this is game changing.
Mm.
And real video testimonials, not hello, my name is Bjorn and I sold with Lisa and I must say she is the best real estate agent in the universe. Not that rubbish, right? So I g'day, you know, I'm Frank, met Bjorn, he came around, no BS, told me what I needed to do. Yeah, didn't give me any fluff, told him what he wanted, got the job done, actually got us a little bit more. Love him, top bloke, good bloke. Real rugged, raw, uncut,
so
unedited. Too. Film it on your iPhone or on your smartphone. Make sure, like I said in part 1, we discussed about the reasons why you want a good smartphone with good cameras.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, upgrade your phone now, because your video testimonials are the most powerful. When you walk through a presentation and you're telling your clients, oh, there was one down the road that was similar to this. I've got a recent client a few weeks ago like this. There was one similar to this. They're thinking, yeah, okay. Yeah, look at this BS artist. Okay. All right, here we go. And then you keep talking about everything else. You talk to them about what you can do for them and everything else. And then when you sit down with them, you go, actually, before we get started, remember that client I told you about down the road? Hold on a second. Let me just have a look here. And you play a video. And it says exactly what you told them. And then you go, remember that other client I told you about with the other circumstance, which is similar to yours? Well, I think I've got a video for them too.
It's getting people that they relate to, you know, like finding somebody that's in similar situation that they can go, oh, you know, and it alleviates their concerns.
It's social proof, Lisa. And then every single thing that you've said in that meeting, you've backed up what they thought was BS story to try to get their business, that you've now showed them with evidence that it's actually not BS, that it's actually real and legitimate. Then they connect everything else that you've told them throughout the entire presentation with being honest and having full integrity and 100% accuracy. Then basically from then on forward, you're a trusted expert. You're not some person trying to get their business. You're a trusted expert because you've proven to them that what you say is honest and true.
Yep, absolutely.
Very important.
All right, so the next thing in appraisals is showing rating sites, which, you know, a lot of agents say, oh, you know, the consumer doesn't care about the rating sites. But if you're using it to show how good you are and saying, I have 258 reviews on this platform, Google or wherever, you know, it shows that people have taken the time to actually write something about you and all of that sort of thing. So I think that's a really good tool to use. It's a listing tool that you can use in a listing presentation. Okay, then we've got create short videos of the property for sellers. So you've got your video templates that you use, that you just walk around and sort of show them, demonstrate the kinds of videos that you can provide instantly, let alone the professional ones that we've got as well. Okay, 100%. Then you've got digital sales agreements, so electronic signings. So a lot of the agents are using those. And then you show your sellers how we use technology to communicate with buyers after inspections. So, so the app that you use is amazing, that you put all your buyers in those apps at home opens. Then you're communicating with them via SMS. So you can demonstrate that to your sellers as well, how you actually communicate to them and to the buyers as well.
That's a game changer, Lisa, because anybody that's coming through an open home or coming through an inspection needs to be registered, for starters, for COVID nowadays, but also because you want to keep track of who your potential buyers are, and buyers are sellers as well. So when you register them against this particular app, which we get for free with my company, and anybody that's in the company gets it for free as well, doesn't have to just be myself. Basically, we register in their name, their email address, their details. It sends them an SMS welcoming them to the property with a digital link to the digital brochure, okay? And that way they can choose if they want to take a manual brochure or not. And then also once they leave the property, we send them out a group SMS with a link to a digital offer form saying, thank you for coming through the property. If you have any further questions, we're here to help. Really appreciate you taking the time to come and have a look. Here's a link to our digital offer form. By the way, follow me on Facebook and my socials. Here's a link to that as well, where you'll find off-market opportunities, whatnot. And then what you can also do is you can follow up. So you can have another SMS template, and this is all free SMSs, unlike your CRM, which charges 9 cents per SMS or whatever it is. This is all free. Use your mobile phone data. And what it will do then is you can say, hi, so-and-so, just thank you for letting you, sorry, let me start again. Hi, so-and-so, just letting you know the property at XYZ Street has received offers and offers are closing at 5 p.m. tomorrow night. Yep. P.S. If this property is not suitable for you, please find a link to other properties below.
Yes.
Then you can do another message. Hey, just letting you know this property's gone under contract for this much money. And if you'd like to know how much your property's worth, please sing out below. This is a deal that we're doing. And then you can send another SMS saying, hello, I've just picked up another couple of properties which are similar to this one. If you're interested in looking at ABC Street, EFG Street, please get in touch with me by SMS or phone, and I'll give you exclusive VIP rights to have a look at it before the rest of the market knows about it. Now, do you understand how powerful this is?
Yeah, very
powerful.
Yeah.
Right? Because the traditional real estate agent sits down and says, hi, I'm so good. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, data, confuse the hell out of the client, and then say, give me $3,000, give me $2.5 grand, let me do my job.
Yeah.
When you're doing things in a different way, using technology, providing more value to your customers, making things easier for your buyers and easier for your sellers, it's an absolute no-brainer. And this is part of the reasons why I've not lost a listing to another agent in 9 months. And I've gone up against some of the biggest agents in my area. Now, just to give people an idea, I'm not $1 million performer, okay? Don't claim to be, don't want to be. I want a life. I find that most of the $1 million performers, much respect to them, they have big teams behind them. When you've got big teams behind them, you're paying staff. Give you an example. I write around half a mil a year, okay, roughly, doing it by myself. In my previous establishment, I had a personal assistant that chewed up about $70,000 worth of income, okay? Since I've joined the cloud-based and used these apps and got there's about 6 points of technology that I've now adapted into the business with a cloud-based model, which are helping me get listings and win business. I'm not losing any business to any of the franchise or independents anymore. There's a strategy I won't share, but if anybody wants to reach out, I can let them know about it. But what I've found is that my income has actually increased by 88% in the past 12 months because, one, I don't need a personal assistant. I don't need a team of other agents around me. And I'm still doing, I actually did more. I actually did, I think, $78,000 more this financial year, 12 months into a new business with a new brand that nobody had heard of compared to 12 months previous with a brand which has been around since 1978. So the technology has enabled me to do that.
It's so powerful being able to show that to a seller, because what we want to do is we want to obviously help that seller and list that property, and by showing how you can communicate with people, not just taking a $10,000 check and advertising in the paper, who reads the paper, or advertising here. You've actually got a marketing strategy using technology. And when you're able to demonstrate that, that's going to help you get the listing as well. All right.
Well, you think about it, how it's changed. I mean, back in the day, before I started, the only way that you'd find a property was in the paper. The paper was huge. When I started, it was probably, internet had only been around, well, it was 2008. So internet had been around for 8-9 years. And realestate.com and domain were around, but we were still using print media. I was doing full page messenger ads at $500 a pop to have me there and the picture of the photo. And then we were doing Saturday advertising. You'd have to call and get it in the paper each Saturday. If you're in the paper today, you're just wasting money. It's as simple as that. You're just building exposure for an agent. That's all it is.
Big time.
Everything's high tech now.
Big time. Okay, the other way we use technology in appraisals is Zoom appraisals for out of area sellers. So rather than if they're away, you can actually have a face-to-face. You can even create your own presentation for out of area sellers. You know, not really like a PowerPoint, but have like, you know, you can have your marketing there. You can have all of those sorts of things too. So agents are using technology to do that rather than a phone call, and the people don't ever get to see your personality, to do Zoom appraisals for out of area sellers, which I think is really good as well.
Yeah, of course. If you were a seller right now and you're in Queensland and I'm in Adelaide, and you're telling me about your property, I'd say, look, do you want to jump on a Zoom? Because when you can see somebody, you can read their body language. You get
to know them.
Face to a name. You know what I mean? You can say, okay, how they present it. Okay, do I like them? Do I not like them? It's just first impressions count. So yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Okay, post appraisals. So sending a post appraisal summary, CRM organized as a trail for automated follow-up. So letters, emails, texts, monthly, you know, whatever that trail is. So using technology for post appraisals. Then technology for the database, which we've sort of gone into. But then also we've got the technology with our company, which is the artificial intelligence, which is automated responders and all that sort of thing. Nurturing our databases. So that's something that, we've got our lead generation, which we spoke about, and things that we need to focus on, but we also need to focus on nurturing the clients that we've already got. We've spent so much money to make the phone ring, to do social ads, to do letterbox drops, to do all of these things to put people into a database, or worse still, not even have a database. But if you're good enough, you put them in a database, look after those people as well. So there's technology there that actually goes through and tells you when something's being listed around some, one of the properties that you've done an appraisal on, and all of those different things. So the technology is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, let's say, for example, I'm doing an appraisal for somebody and they don't list with me there and then. Okay. Straight away when I get in the car, I'll send them an SMS, just thanking them, letting them know that I'm here and saying, by the way, here's a link to some of my past clients. And then I'll put a video testimonial link in there, right? Which might be the videos that I showed them when I was sitting with them, just as a, they
reminder.
Can over and over when they want. And I'll say, by the way, if you want to call them to find out about me, here's Rebecca's phone number, here's Frank's phone number, here's John's phone number. And the video testimonial will say, hi, I'm Rebecca, hi, I'm John. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Feel free to call them to ask them what they think of me, right? Because every agent's going to tell you that they're great, but it's hearing it from the customer themselves. Now, you do that, and then you put them into what we call trails through the database. Now, your trails might comprise of SMSs, they might comprise of emails, might even be some calls, right?
Yeah.
But just because they're not selling today, I might appraise somebody that's selling in 6 months' time. They'll receive a weekly email from me then. And I'll say to them, look, I want to add you as a buyer and as a potential buyer, just with a broad range, so that you can see the way that I market towards my buyers and you can see the content that I put out there. I know you're not buying, I know you're selling, but I want you to see, if you were a buyer, how I interact with you. Is that okay? Yes, that's fine. Put them in there. Keep nurturing them. And then we have the artificial intelligence, like you said, which instead of my personal assistant having to basically every month, every day should have a list of 30 CMAs to send out, which is current market appraisals or current market reports, whatever you want to call them. She'd go in, she'd build them up, she'd put them in an email, she'd send them to the client, she'd do those, then she'd call them the next day and ask them if they had any questions. Very expensive, $70,000 exercise. We don't need that now. We've got the artificial intelligence that will send them a monthly report of sales every single month, and it will have a link. Would you like an updated appraisal? I'll click on that link, it'll come through to me, and then I know to give that person a call to get in touch with that client to help them. What we've also got is nurturing through the database with the artificial intelligence, where it'll send out SMSs on a daily basis saying, starting conversations with people. So there's so much that technology can do to nurture a database now that can actually replace a personal assistant.
Absolutely, because like you said, you're paying somebody by the hour to do that, whereas the systems that we've got, the client nurturing is like $120 a month. It's kind of like my robot vacuum cleaner. I put that on, you'd pay somebody like $25 an hour to do your vacuuming, and that just does it all day, and I don't pay a thing. Same thing.
Now I want to make a point here as well. I've talked about how I don't need a personal assistant anymore, and I've gotten rid of a personal assistant. I haven't gotten rid of her. She's not unemployed, okay? I want you to know, guys, like the last thing I'll do is leave somebody unemployed. If that was the case, I would probably still employed her just to keep her in a job, okay? Because I'm not an AH, all right? I don't want to see people unemployed. But what I did, we transferred her from my business as my PA into the property management business that my previous employer was running, and now she's still got a job. She's still employed, and she's just doing different exercises and different activities. So I haven't sacked anyone. I haven't got rid of anybody or fired anybody. I'm not like that. She still has a job. I just want to make that clear because I don't want to be perceived as that person that's replacing people with technology, because it's 100% about people still. The technology can enable me to be more efficient and utilize the people in other areas where they can be more
productive. Absolutely. All right, that's awesome. Thank you. And so next week we talk about using technology to market properties. So that's one of my favorite ones as well.
Look forward to it. Bye for now.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you have a question about real estate, then please join the group on Facebook, also called Let's Talk About Real Estate. For those of you who are interested in EXP, please join us at 10 a.m. Brisbane time every Wednesday morning for EXP Explained. Thank you again for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, and see you next week.